years, you've heard people talk about the magic number for retirement, the $1 million goal. But will that even be enough? Or should you even worry about that number? Well, joining me now is Mike Douglas, the president of LifePlan Financial Design, a Lansing area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. And you may have heard of him because he's a popular podcast host. How are you, Mike?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, tell us first, who wants to be a millionaire in retirement?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Some days I think I want to be a multi-millionaire. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, everybody wants to be a millionaire. It's it's one of those magic numbers that we want to. We love to see when you can roll over that account. That's a fun one to celebrate, but everybody wants to be a millionaire. It's just interesting how many people think that will maybe solve all the problems.
Well, speaking of, goals are great, but you do say that we shouldn't chase, though, that magic millionaire number.
No, and the problem is, depending on what articles you read or what references you have, they'll tell you, well, if you have this. I saw one the other day that says you have to have over $2 million to retire. And I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? I see it all the time here. And here's the problem. When you read these articles and see these things printed, it's national studies. So that's saying, well, in New York, in New Jersey, right? It's like in Chicago and LA, they take these national statistics and say, here's what applies to everybody. Well, that's not true for mid-Michigan. If you watch HGTV, you see that there's like apartments in Toronto that sell for $2 million. And you're like, that's insane. That's not mid-Michigan. So it doesn't so much come down to this magic number that you have to achieve. It's really about having a balance and understanding, here's how much we want to spend, and then you run the numbers out to figure out, well, then here's how much I have to have. But it's not a, if I hit $1 million, I'm safe. If I hit $2 million, I'm safe. We had someone who came in and we worked through a plan with them, and he came in with about $2.4 million. And as we worked through it, he said, well, I've always made $250,000 a year, and I want to keep doing that. And so we said, all right, well, that's $250,000. That's only about 10 years of money on $2.4 million. And he goes, wow, that's crazy. You've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I've had people come in with $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, and we build out a plan, and they don't have very many expenses. So they will never spend that $500,000. So it really comes down to making sure you have a balance and understanding who you are and what you want life to look like.
Yeah, and I love that, Mike, that you put that in context, that being a millionaire isn't the same in each different part of the country. But speaking of those plans that you worked on with your own clients, what does it take to then create a successful retirement plan then?
Well, it takes an understanding of who you are. And I said, again, you're not a account number. You're not just a statistic. You are a family with goals and dreams of what you want to do. Everyone has a different idea of what retirement's supposed to look like. There's the model we have in Michigan, which is you get to a certain point, you retire, and then you snowbird 3-4 months a year. But some people don't want to do that. We have family on the East Coast, and so whenever we have vacations, we generally shoot out to the East Coast to see my family. And as a result, that's our vacation time. So it's different for every person. Other people say, I don't want to go down south, but I want to go up north and hang out at my cabin. So understanding who you are as a family and what you want life to look like is the best way to build a plan. And it's conversations that say, this will cost that much, that will cost this much, and model those things out.
Yeah, and something that comes up a lot in retirement is proper tax management. Why is that strategy so important? That's
the first thing that we have to deal with. So much of life is not about how much you make, it's about what you keep. So someone can tell you, I make $120,000 a year, but by the time I'm taxed and contributing and healthcare and all that, I live on $85,000. All right, well then your family makes $85,000. You gross this, but you live on this number. So as a result, when you're in retirement, it's no different. If I'm pulling investment money, if I'm taking money from my 401k or my IRAs or my Roth or a trust account, they're all taxed differently. And so when you say, I need to live on $5,000 a month in addition to my Social Security, okay, well then that's a strategy. And depending on what investments we pull from, will determine how it's taxed and how much you pay in taxes. And then if you pull from the wrong accounts, are they going to incur taxes on your Social Security? Are they going to change the way you receive benefits? So that's what we want to make sure we take care of. So tax management is really the foundational piece. And then once we figure out the tax situation, then we build into investments, legacy planning, all the risk tolerance, all those other things. But we always start with taxes because that's the thing. Number one, if you do them right, you win and you feel good about it. If you do it wrong, there can be major consequences.
Mike, and you're only just scratching the surface of creating that successful plan. So for you at home, if you'd like to learn more about accomplishing your dreams, goals, and desires for retirement, Mike has got a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with savings of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. And this will allow Mike and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with the roadmap, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. A game plan to get you where you need to be. So that number to call is 517-200-3330. Again, 517-200-3330. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.